Okay, I wanted to just tell you a little story about a guy that I used to work with, and we'll just call him Pretty Ricky. When I first started working, and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna tell you what agency, because I don't know if I want to do that. But anyways, I'll just tell it to you without telling you the agency, because I'm sure pretty much everyone knows who this person is. So when I got hired at the agency, there was a few friendly faces of people who say they're Christians, and so I automatically tried to click with them and, become close, or at least get to know them on a professional level. And I ran into Rick, which I heard he was a semi-pastor, and he had his own photography business, and he was married to an African American woman, and he had a lot of children, black kids, and I used to see him, in this cubicle, and I thought, that he seemed like a really good man, like a father figure, someone that I could talk to and look up to as a role model. And so, I would talk to him occasionally, and I'd see him in the break room. We kind of got a little bit closer than other people that I work with, because he would always stop by my desk and on his breaks and just say hi, or just, make me smile. And it was really, he was cool. We would go to lunch, and he would tell me, he'd had some issues, and he was trying to get custody of one of his grandsons. And so, we would just talk. And I remember one time I didn't see him very much, and he started kind of seeming a little distant, and he was having some issues with his wife. And so I, just, took a back, seat and just let him deal with it. And I know he had some car troubles, and I would see her sometimes dropping him off in the mornings, and so I had no idea that things were really getting bad, because I guess apparently he had to move or something. They maybe just broke up all the way, or just separated. And so it was really sad. But I remember one time I was walking into the lunchroom, and I noticed he was reading a book, and he kind of jumped. And I said, well, I knew he was hesitant and he was hiding it, so I didn't want to, put him on, blast real quick. So I just tried to play it off a little bit, and he had the cover of the book, turned around so I couldn't see it. And then I saw the back, and it said something about transsexuals or something. And I was like, oh, so I knew that at that moment I had a choice. I either was going to call him on it and say, Rick, what's going on, and what are you doing? Or just let him just go and just pretend like I don't care and I'm not going to say nothing, when I know he has a wife and, he has kids and everything that look up to him. So I just I remember it was right in the doorway. It was funny how God works. And I was, I kind of was like, he was walking out and I was walking in. And I kind of blocked his way a little bit so he couldn't get out. And then I confronted him with the book in his hand. And I had a suspicion that maybe he was reading something like that. So in my heart, I guess it was already there, but I just needed it confirmed. And so when you see guys in the corner reading all these books or whatever and trying to cover them up, just know they're reading something about a tranny or some gay books. You better watch out. So he said, oh, I'm just reading about it because I want to learn something. And I said, yeah, right. And then at that moment, it was like I knew from then on I needed to watch him. And so he, pretended like he was just, looking out or trying to, like, get to know people that have this problem. But I knew that somehow was not true. And so, I just walked away. And then after that, I remember I had gotten sick and I couldn't go back to work. And I had the whooping cough. And I had bronchitis and all kinds of things just hit me, sinusitis, and because they had cleaned out the ducts at work, and they hadn't cleaned them out since like the 70s, and they covered the desks, and they said that they took precautions, but when they pulled the stuff up, it just smeared everywhere. And I remember I had like these vents right over my desk, and so I know immediately just shot down everywhere around my surroundings. So somehow I got sick from it, which I thought was deliberate. And I'm sure they like forced the air more in my corner, but to come out of the vents. But so I couldn't return to work, and I had to take FMLA leave, and I needed a reasonable accommodation. And I had a doctor-approved absent sick leave. And so as I was out of work, this man proceeded to become more and more, I guess, homosexual or bisexual. I don't know what it was, but he had sometimes even flirted with me a little bit. Like, he would say I was good looking. And I remember once he had set up a photography stand, and I think it was during lunch. And he took pictures of some of the staff, and they paid him for professional pictures, and he was really good at it. And I have some pictures that he took, and he gave them to me for free. He was this really generous, nice guy. And so it was alarming when I, found out that he was going, turning the other way. So I remember I had asked this guy that works with us once, where he was or what was going on with him, and because I wanted to call him. And he said, because I tried to call and his number was disconnected or something. And so, or I didn't have the number. I don't remember what happened. Or my number got disconnected. I can't remember, but I lost contact with them. And he was like, oh, well, you don't want to know. He had said Pretty Ricky was going to the, I guess, Halloween parties and women's dresses coming to work, I guess, on that day. And a lot of guys do that. They'll dress up and try to, they'll try to come to work on Halloween or whatever and just try to be funny. But you better be cautious, because usually those ones are the ones that first bust out trannies. And they like women too. And that's the thing that's so tricky with this, that these guys are going to use this excuse, this new law, which allows them to go into women's bathrooms. So I guess apparently he had filed something against the management, and was basically saying that he wanted the right to come to work dressed as a woman, and to also be able to use the women's restrooms. And I couldn't believe when I had heard about it, and I had seen some stories on TV about people doing this, and I thought, well, the first thing I thought is, I know he's bisexual, I know he likes women, and now he's using this, what a weirdo, to get into the bathroom and to harass women. And I mean, I know him, and I know that he has something for women too, and a lot of these guys are both ways, and they call it bisexuality. Or they just like to harass and taunt women. They're probably more, swaying towards the homosexual. But let me tell you, it just gave me, it cringed. I cringed because I was glad I wasn't there anymore to have to go to the bathroom and see him, Pretty Ricky, in the bathroom, and what, he'd be doing, jacking off. And we also had some incidents where someone was smearing feces, shit, poop on the walls. And every time, we would go in the bathroom, it would be on the wall. We knew it was a staff member because our bathrooms were only accessible to staff, because you had to have a security card to get to the bathroom. And we knew it was someone from the, government. And it's, I mean, these people, I'm telling you, government workers can be a little weird too. And we knew, it was someone within our office, but we just could never figure it out. So we had a big, like, shake-up. And we transferred a bunch of people out in different offices. And, some people went to Gig Harbor or maybe Puyallup office or, different offices throughout the different agencies, because this agency I worked which was huge, one of the largest agencies within Washington State. So we just ship people around and do redesigns all the time. And I think maybe we might have been a call center and then we went to something else, but anyways, what happened was we transferred a bunch of people out, and I helped in facilitating that, and it was a huge project, and I gained a lot of skills. But we, after that happened, I guess they stopped smearing feces on the wall, so we kind of we narrowed it down to who, someone within that group was doing it. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you the story about it and how uncomfortable women feel with these new laws of letting these men and these perverts who do still like women into the bathrooms. And is it possible that we could just maybe create a separate bathroom for them, or let them just continue to go to the men's room and just designate a stall at the end for the the men who dress in weird dresses. Because we should not have to have them forced on us. And they're pulling out their penises in the bathroom. And they're, jacking off, masturbating. And they're just loving all this freedom that they get to have access to our bathrooms. That's wrong. And there should be a law against it. But there isn't. So if you find, that your employers are letting the men that dress up or pretend to be gay, or some of them maybe are, into your bathrooms, please leave a comment and let us know. I'd like to interview and do a story about it, because I know there's a lot of people that are experiencing this and are very uncomfortable, and it's causing post-traumatic stress disorders, anxiety, and panic attacks for women. A lot of women have been raped by men and abused, and they have to go through these bathrooms and see these men in there, and it's just traumatizing enough to have to see them dressed in women's clothes, but to force them on us in their bathrooms is really sad. It's a sad thing, and I'm thinking that, of course, the congressmen are behind this whole thing, because they want to support the rights of the gays, but they can't do that and take away our rights as well, and it's not fair. So this is information you need reporting. All one word, with the U. Oh, look at that dog. That's a big dog. Look at him. He got his little thing on his back. I think that's a greyhound. A lot of people, I think, come down here. I'm over at Wapato Park. So this is information you need, reporting all one word with the U, with a true story about men, homosexual men, bisexual men, getting access and getting the privilege of terrorizing women in our bathrooms. This is a procedure that's going on within the United States of America. And we're not protected. Not the men will stand up for us, and they just, I guess, they allow it. They don't mind. I mean, if a woman was to come into their bathroom and dress as a man, then they would welcome it probably, because men, they don't care about that stuff. It doesn't offend them. They like having threesomes and orgies and swinger sex. They like watching women, have sex with each other, two women, and so it's nothing offensive to them. In fact, there's a practice in these bathrooms that's going on, that people are having sex on the job, and it's, you know, not reported on, but I know that a lot of people are, you know, using, you know, facilities, government paid, tax paid facilities as hotel, brothels, sex, ranch rooms or whatever, ranches and brothels, where they conduct their sexual intercourses with their secretaries and with the staff, and, you know, they do it behind their wives' back, and, you know, they hardly get caught because it's usually the management, and it's a practice that's just open and, you know, type of style environment that they have within these places. So it's not nothing, no, it's a big deal. And then a lot of people get hired on sexual favors, and they get, you know, personally promoted, and so it's not a big deal. Oh wow, brother. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention what's going on. It's the degradation of America. These men and leadership roles are just allowing anything.